social media regarding attempting years of, I won't even spoil it for you. Go look, it's a powerful post, you should go read it. Alright, let's move on to our new website. We have these, Danette, Grant, and her team have worked tirelessly at creating some content for a new website that we have, which is c21everest.com. It reflects the values and message of this company really well. It also shows really well for the staff, the leadership, the agents, both California and here in Utah. Danette, is there anything else I should say? Should I say something about photos?
Yeah, tell me if their photo's not there, it's because we don't have the high res of it.
If your photo is not there and you want it there, we need a high res version. What we are attempting to accomplish is make us look really, really good. So no low-res pictures with brown backgrounds and brown suits and from like 1989. We want this to jump out and be powerful. So let's make that happen. Get on c21everest.com. Deliver extraordinary. Okay, and we are going to do a save the date. So we have a couple exciting things coming up here. Number one is our holiday family party, which as usual will be held at the Megaplex Theaters. And we have reserved room for Frozen 2 and the new Star Wars. What are you going to go see?
Star Wars.
Now, Danette put an extra note on my thing here regarding this. She's already hiding. She said, explain the time, 8 a.m. Do you need any more explanation? Yeah, it's early. There's going to be treats and stuff for kids. Then she said, and it's a pajama party. The X-rated version, she told me verbally, was make sure it's clear that it's for kids, that it's a pajama. Nobody should wear lingerie to this thing. And at first I wasn't going to say anything, but then I thought again about Josh Johnson. And I don't know if he's here. Is he here? Okay. I'm going to keep teasing him that he's not here. Perfect. So don't wear lingerie in public ever, but especially not to our family holiday Christmas party. All right. Next, Summit, which will be, and Mike is the one that reminded me of this, first summit of the new decade. So I hope you won't miss that one. Please don't. Okay. Okay, actually go back. I want to show that. I don't know if everyone's seen this. Our mission here, see the bottom, kind of the mission of the organization is something that we talk about so often. And Danette and the leadership team put some thought into this and created. I should give most of the credit to Danette, and Sam wrote it down apparently, but the mission, gather the best, grow together, and deliver extraordinary. And I think that embodies everything we try to do within this company. So, well said. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we want to welcome our new agents. These are agents who joined us in the month of October. And those of you who have joined since, you're going to be recognized at the first summit of the decade 2020. So please be here. So if you're here, please stand up. Greg McDonald, Gabby Hansen, Tanya Satterfield, Wayne Burton, Chris Marston, Tracy Ryan, David DeMarco, Justin Belliston, Delilah Thompson, Catherine Hoover, Lindsay Klinger, Katie Marble, Victoria Munga, Logan Meyer, Macy Bradshaw, Stephen Del Dom, Sadie Herrera, Joseph Lee, Kayla Byers, Parker Chatelain, and David Brown. Give these guys a round of applause. Welcome in. Thank you. Hey, we have got a powerful meeting put together for you today. I hope you've got your notebooks ready and ready to take some notes. I want to just make a quick note before these speakers come up and just a thought. I talk about this a lot in trainings and also like the podcast, things of that nature. I just want to offer you this thought as you prepare to listen to today. We are now on the last basically 6 weeks-ish of the 2019 year. And I would challenge you to believe and beg you to know the fact that you can finish this year strong. You can accomplish a lot, and that you can make this holiday season the best holiday season you've ever had. And it is contingent upon what your actions are today, tomorrow, next week. And I promise if you'll take the action of talking to people, of improving your skill set, asking for business, you'll take listings, you'll get under contract, you'll get buyers under contract, and business will start flowing. So get committed to taking those actions now, and listen today to our speakers who have accomplished so much in this business and are ready to just share with you all the information that they have prepared today. And I hope that you're ready to soak it up. So we want to welcome and are so grateful today to have speaking with us top producing agents Doug Carey and Nikki Nunez. And we will also be hearing from Mr. George Morris. And so yeah, we're in for a great treat today. I hope you have pen and paper ready. And we're going to welcome first to the stage Mr. Doug Carey, followed by Nikki, and then George. So Doug, come on up. Give a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Let's see here. Is that good? Everyone hear me? On the time? How's that? Is that better? All right. Nobody's complaining. All right. So I'm a little shaky up here. This is good. I'm actually grateful to be here because one of the things we're going to talk about is getting out of your comfort zone. And when Danette calls me, I know I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. So she called me a little over a year ago to be on Good Things Utah. Isn't that the name of the show? And the moment she asked me, I said yes because I knew it was an opportunity to grow. But it's not comfortable. So today I'm going to talk about, let's see, what do I need to push? Today, did anyone hear George's message this morning? We're in sync because it was on the topic that I'm going to talk about, becoming. Did you do it? Okay. So who are you becoming? And this is a topic near and dear to me, so I'm going to talk about some principles that are just important to me that help me move my business forward and personal life. So these are principles that don't just apply to real estate. There's a quote here that Nelson Mandela made famous. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You're playing small does not serve the world. We have the opportunity to grow. And I think in real estate, we have the best opportunity. We're in a job where we get to be with people, we get to sell, we don't have a boss watching over us, so we have to control what we do at a higher level than most people do. And go to the next. So who are you wanting to become? 13 years ago, I went to my first Mike Ferry retreat in Vegas, and I remember the guy's name, but I remember him on stage on an agent panel. His goal was to sell 1,000 homes in the next couple of years, in 1 year, and I was just blown away by this guy. And he made the comment that I'll never forget. He said, if you want to be a 40-deal-a-year agent, you have to first become that agent, and then the business will come. And that always stuck with me. So now I'm looking at what do I need to do to be a 150-deal-a-year agent. And I know that I have to have the habits, I have to have the discipline, I have to have everything in place first before I can actually have that business come to me. So we have to have heroes. We have to have people we admire. We have to have a vision of who it is that we want to become. And it's not going to be one person, it's a mixture of people. I mentioned Nelson Mandela earlier. I look to him as a hero of patience and forgiveness. And there's so many great people out there that we can look to admire, we can look to emulate in our lives. Next here. So setting goals. Goals are important to me. You probably all have the scenario like me where you make a business plan at the beginning of the year, 3 months later you don't even know where it is. You might not know where it is now, because it's been a long time. And so I used to make these big, long business plans and really detailed, and then a couple months later, I wouldn't know even what I wrote on there. So my definition of a goal is a dream written out, read often, visible to you, and told to everybody. And in that, I keep it simple. So, in keeping it simple, I have my business plan on a 3x5 card. It can fit there. I can post it everywhere. It's in my office for me to see. And since I started doing that, I get to see it all the time. So, it's in my car, it's in my bathroom. Everyone gets to see it. So, next, George talks a lot, John talks a lot about standards. Faria's taught me a lot about standards. Dad's taught me a lot about standards. Standards all throughout our lives. If we don't have standards, then anything's going to happen. In fact, let's go to the next. What we accept into our lives, we allow into our lives. So, if any of you have teenagers, I have teenagers now, and it's a whole new world. And if your teenager shows up to your house and comes home from school and is doing something inappropriate, and you don't say anything about it, they suddenly think that's okay. And if you have a client that does something that's a jerk to you, then you're allowing that into your lives, and that's going to keep coming into your lives. So, set standards. Standards are very important to me in my business. I set standards on how many buyers or sellers am I going to work with. I set standards on which areas I'm going to work with clients. My office is in Centerville. I live in Kaysville. I won't go past the point of the mountain for a listing, and I'll go a much smaller area for a buyer. What are your standards? And know that you can refer that out to somebody else that'll do an even better job than you would. Price range. If it's too low of a price range, do you charge a higher commission? I do. And that's my standard. Talked about quality of people, don't work with jerks. My title company, who's here, and I'm just glad I'm not saying anything bad, Teresa used to always tell me that, or does always tell me that my clients are the funnest to work with. My closings are so happy, and I thought she was just saying that to keep my business, but I realized that it's true. My clients are really happy. We have great closings. We have a lot of fun, and it's because that's who I look for and what I accept. Then, how will you work? When will you work? So if you introduce yourself to people and you say you're in real estate, oftentimes they say to me, well, you must work a lot of nights and weekends, right? And I always say, no, I don't. I don't at all. And I rarely do. And it's because I set a standard long ago that time is more important than my family. And then I just added this here, how much of each commission check do you invest? So that's a standard for me. Do I invest a certain amount of my check? I do. You should too. We'll go to the next. Here we are. Uncomfortable, right? So what are you doing to be uncomfortable? How are you saying, what are you saying yes to and sometimes no to? What are you doing to get out of your comfort zone? We know that all of our dreams, go to the next one, everything you dream of becoming is outside of your comfort zone. If we do the same thing and stay in that same comfortable spot, we're never going to grow. And look at the biggest growth time of your life. And wherever it is, maybe it was in college, maybe it was when you first got your real estate license, and it's because you were the most uncomfortable during that period. So how can you create more opportunities to be uncomfortable? And one thing that's really uncomfortable for me is having a coach, having a mentor, somebody that is going to hold your feet to the fire, somebody that won't let you, or that can stand outside of your business and look in and say, you need to do this and this and change that, things that you can't see. And then get accountability. We're all part of a great organization that talks about all these things. Get accountability. Find somebody that's not your best friend, that's not your spouse, that's not good. Somebody that won't let you get away with your excuses. Lots of head shaking on the spouse. And find somebody that's going to be great for you. And call me if you want to, because I'm always looking for great accountability partners. And this one's important to me. What pushes you? What makes you, is part of that accountability related to that? How can you move forward in your life? What motivates you? So, in the next one, is it a punishment or a reward that you're motivated by? Is it your dream board? Do you have dreams, your pictures of your dreams up on a board in front of you that you look at? Is it a financial commitment? So for me, I don't like debt, and I only have my mortgages on my house and the properties, and but when I know I need to push myself forward, sometimes I get a little bit of debt and work hard to pay it off. So in fact, because of this, thank you to Nat, George, and everyone. My wife will be very happy. We made a commitment to put a pool in next year. And I put the down payment on it, and I know I won't have all the money to pay for that because it's not just a pool; it's a big project. But I'll pay it off very fast because of this. So what pushes you? Figure that out, and probably a variety of those things. Here's something I've done a lot. Fail often, and we all have. If we're not failing often, something's wrong. So, go to the next here. Remember, as we're failing, it's all in fun learning. If we're not failing and learning from it, then we ought to be in a different business, right? We can grow. I looked the other day and on my numbers analyzer where I can track how many contacts I've made since, I think it was 2007. I've made just over 72,000 contacts in prospecting. And that is over 71,000 no's. So there's a lot of no's that we all get, and we should get. Don't take it personally. Try something new all the time. And if you're not failing, I'll give you a story. Just happened this last Sunday. My son, who's 12, got a chance to talk in church. And he was a little overly confident in his speaking abilities. He said he had it all in his mind. He didn't need to write anything down. And he's 12, right? So we convinced him, thankfully, to at least write down an outline. Write something down. And that saved him. But after the talk, he came to me and he was so mad at himself. He was beating himself up. And he's like, I can't believe it. He said, I gotta get better at doing this. And that was awesome. The fact that he knew he could get better and needed to get better. And hopefully will listen to me next time. But just like we should let our kids fail so they can grow, we need to fail as well. There's a picture here of something that I failed on. I built this deck in my house years ago. So I built this in the summer of 2007. Who was selling real estate summer of 2007? We know that in June and July the market was hot, right? That was the end of the bubble. Well, I was spending a lot of my time building this deck. And I bought 2 books to learn how to build it. Not very, very good at this stuff. It was 10 feet above the ground. It was 24 by 12, the staircase. And I built it, and I did it. And I think 80% of my time that summer my at least mental time was occupied when I could have been selling more homes. Now, good news is I saved $2,000 by yeah, I think I probably lost $100,000 in what I could have sold. But because I didn't learn my lesson good enough, let's go to the next one. So I put this basketball hoop up by myself. Not near as big of a project. It didn't take me all summer, thankfully. And I won't tell the whole story, but I nearly died inside this basketball hoop. And I wrote this down, what the obituary would have said. Man dies sitting on top of ladder inside a basketball hoop because he was too cheap to pay $150 for somebody to So go to the next one. I learned the value of my time. I learned that it's the most valuable asset that I have, and we have. And we have certain skills and abilities that we can go out and produce. We can go out and create great amounts of income for ourselves. In just an hour of time, you can make 10 to 12 contacts on the phone. You can maybe set an appointment from that, and you can get a $9,000 commission check. Look at what you do best and hire everything else out. So if it doesn't bring you joy, if you don't like mowing the lawn, hire somebody else to do it. And I don't like administrative work. I don't like paperwork. So I hire that out, right? Got a great assistant. So look at where in your business can you hire something out that you can spend more time actually making great money for you and your family. The next one is who you surround yourself with. So I've been coached by Mike Ferry organization for 13 years, and as much as I love the coaching, equally I love the people that I'm able to be around. And I've been able to surround myself with so many wonderful people all across the country. I've got great mastermind groups. Just tomorrow I'm going to Vegas with a mastermind group for a class, and I get to spend time with these people that do as much or way more business than I do. And I just love that opportunity because it stretches me. And so who do you surround yourself with? Go to the next one here. And it's not just in real estate, it's socially. Who do you want to look up to and who do you want to be around more? Spiritually, financially, business. And the next question is who do you need less of in your life? Is there somebody that's not a great example that's dragging you down? You've heard the saying that you're the average of the 5 closest people, or 5 people that you're closest to in income. And so who can you surround yourself with on a higher level? And then embrace the boredom. See, these are principles that apply to all of our lives. No matter what field of business you're in, if you do it at a high level, you're going to have massive amounts of boredom. So lots of practice, lots of repetition. And so what do? I spend 3 to 4 hours a day on the phone every day, and you gotta have fun with it, right? You gotta play games. You gotta keep it interesting. If you come to my office, you'll see balls that I'm bouncing, or soccer ball that I'm kicking, walking around all the time. I've got music playing. I've got somebody on a video conference call that's prospecting in another place that I get to hear and interact with. And how can you have fun with it? We have prospecting booths. If you get somebody else to prospect with and have fun, we do that in Centerville. Try and get more. Come, it's fun. Take some breaks and get back to it. So embrace the boredom. And then as you do it, you'll always find adversity. If you're doing the right things, you're going to run into the haters and the critics and the naysayers. And if you're not on the right track. It's when you are, you guys pump your fist and say, yes, I'm right there. Somebody swears at you on the phone, yes, I'm doing something right. Somebody's hating me, I love it. And you can't make everyone happy, don't try. I know I had a hard time in my first couple of years when I have one person not happy about something I did, and quickly got over it, thankfully, and realized I'm doing something right. You can't make everybody happy. You can't make all calling a list of 100 just listed calls around. You're going to find somebody that's mad that you're calling them, and it's just life. But it's a sign that you're on the right track. So this last one, these are questions that I'm asking myself right now as I'm preparing for 2020. What can I do in my business? How can I make my business even better? What do I need to start or stop doing? What should I be saying yes or no to? Who do you need in your life? Who do you need out of your life? What habits do I need to create? What habits do I need to break? And then I get the rest to go to work. That's all I have. Thank you.
Business plans.
Me too. I've got it dialed in, Amy. I'm so excited.
You do? There's only one thing that I want to do.
Me too.
I want to be like Josh! So, I figured that to be just like Justin, I need to follow his schedule.
Me too. And you know what? I got Josh's
I got
schedule.
Justin!
Really?
Yeah,
How's
his schedule.
So funny. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, I got you. Right here. I want to get workings on mine.
You do?
Yeah,
I
work.
Oh, I cut myself.
Oh, hold on. What is the first thing on your list?
The first thing on my list is that Josh goes to the gym.
Just to swim.
I know. And after, of course, getting 8 hours of sleep and a great meal.
Every morning.
Every morning.
That's amazing.
And this guy goes canning. Can't wait.
Well, number 2 on my list is answer fan mail. I do too. People just sending you stuff that says how awesome you are, and
Yeah.
you just say,
I love myself too.
yeah, that's great.
For
I
sure.
think that we're good.
And then you know what? They get lunch.
That's it with feminists too.
2 hours.
And mine says go to lunch.
Go to lunch.
I mean, I think they actually like go to a restaurant or like, actually, we don't really have time to eat right now.
That's
Should we
true.
do this? Okay. Alright, so
Lastly, that he has, the man goes door knocking in the mobile home park.
oh my gosh, this is wonderful. He is so rich with that. I can see it now, Nikki in the parks.
What do you
Holy
think?
rocket. Oh, I just got one more thing on my list too. And that is do my radio show.
Oh, me too. I know, you were fun.
Okay, I'll see you in 6 months.
All right, girl.
Oh,
What's up, Amy?
hey Nick, how's it going? Thanks for coming for our 6-month review. Wow.
I know it's good. I've been working
Well-
at the gym.
I don't know, I look better. I know I look better, but you're trying.
Very good, Amy. So what's up with this getup you got?
Oh, I'm just practicing. Oh, I'm just getting ready for my radio show.
You are behind the scenes.
Hey, you never know when someone's going to show up for an autograph. It happens all the time.
I need you to sign this right away.
Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Would you like me to make this out to you? There we go. Hey, that's
So, I'm kidding.
yeah.
Jen, no, you're not. My numbers are so much higher.
No.
Yeah, you're going downhill. I'm leaps and bounds above you.
You know what?
I totally
I do
am.
have to tell you something.
What?
I just can't do it anymore.
I can't take it either.
The stress of all of this is just killing me.
I can't take it either. I'm telling you, I've been trying for weeks to do that crazy hair thing he does. I can't do it.
I cannot do it. And I look like I need a thing of lotion all over my body. I am cracking up everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
You know what, Amy?
I'm getting carpal tunnel.
I am happy with us. Let's just do us.
Just better.
Let's do us and do us better, girl.
Yes.
That's right.
You got it. Let's do it.
Let's do us. Let's do it better.
Amy, thank you for doing that with me. That was awesome. And of course, we had to make fun of Josh and Justin because they do rock to a point. But I'm pretty sure the women in here can kick some derriere. So, anyway, my presentation, does that work? It does not work. Okay, well, get it off my mug. Up? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. So, whoa, I thought I had to turn my head that way. So, this is kind of ironic. This is from that side? No, this is not working. Okay. So, life's a crock pot recipe. For those that know me, know that I can pretty much burn anything. But this profound statement came when I was actually trying to cook something. But I looked at it and thought, okay, life is kind of like a crock pot recipe. A whole bunch of stuff is thrown into it, and at the end of the day, you hope and pray it turns out right. Okay? So, but without having, if it turns out bad, it's because you did not use a recipe. And that says a lot in life too, because life is like a recipe. It's a recipe that you create for yourself. And it takes time, it takes failure, lots of failures. I can be a cold-hearted person at times, maybe. But I can also be very kind-hearted. I get my competition from my dad, right here, Jaime Nunez, and my mother, who gave me a soft heart. Yes, Rusty Nunez there. But life is like a recipe. Next one. So, here's some examples. And you guys, hopefully, some of you guys are really young in here. You may not know all these people, but for the most part, you know Harriet Tubman. We just did there's a big, huge movie on her right now. You've got armed forces. Those guys are heroes in our lives. Military, Martin Luther King, Oprah Winfrey. Come on, everybody knows Oprah. And then you have this young lady here. So, who knows who this is?
Tonya Harding.
Tonya Harding, right? Okay. So, through life, you have your challenges. Some of these people faced rape, they faced poverty, they were, beat. You have a huge amount of despair in some of these people's lives. But they decided to make the choice. Their recipe in life was to be that they were going to change what they were going to do and become successful people in life, be leaders, okay? Then you have some people that say, oh, there's something new and shiny. I'm going to go this direction and take someone's legs out. So you don't want to cheat yourself on the way to success. Success takes time. It takes discipline. If you find a system, stick to the system. Don't keep changing your systems. It takes time to nurture those. So I threw up Tonya. I think she does some other things now, and she's probably learned her lesson. But know that we're all going to fail. We may fail, extremely hard, but get back up, who's out for failure, there's no success. Alright, so the next slide, really want to use that a little quicker. So, the blank one. Confidence. Alright, so some of the things that when these guys asked me to speak, and actually I kind of got asked to speak after Amy and I put together this video, I suckered at it. But I'm glad I'm up here, because get out of your comfort zone, this is definitely it. My hands are shaking and sweating like man hands. It's gross. Too much info right there. So, confidence. Okay, so look at the person in front of you, directly in front of you, everybody. How is that person sitting in that seat? Are they slouched down like this? Are they sitting with their arms folded? Are they like this? Doug, I just look at Doug, he's like, ah. I thought you were going to have to go out there and start digging your pool. Or are they sitting in their seat? So everyone do me a favor right now. Sit back in your seat, open up your shoulders, sit back, and sit like that the rest of the time. No, but know that when you have posture, when you dress for success, when you sit in your chair or you stand at your podium and call people, your confidence rises. So what I sometimes tease my team, probably Taylor over there the most, about coming in looking like a lumberjack. But the thing is dressing for success, it can do nothing but make you even better what you're doing now. Okay? The next one. Alright. Are you gonna be a victim or are you gonna be a valor? Okay? The reason I bring that up is because we all have stories in our head. We all come from a background that maybe you were beat as a child. You were orphan. You were, you had an older sister like me that maybe punched you around a little, maybe decided you were going to grow and be 6 foot tall. But you faced drugs, alcoholism, whatever it may be. But what story do you tell yourself? Are you continuously a victim, or are you going to be the victor at the end of the day? Because we hear stories all the time. Although I can't do this because, my child has that. My child has this. I mean, my child just had a seizure a couple weeks ago, and I've been in and out of primary children's. But I still know that at the end of the day, what will keep my family functioning is me being a victor and getting back on the calls, making calls, and not giving a sad story. Okay? The next one. Okay, define what you want and your why. I have always been passionate about your why. And the reason I say that is because your why is going to change. When I got in the industry, for those that know me or don't know me, I got into the industry as a loan officer for Countrywide. For those that would know who Countrywide is. Like, seriously, people wanted to hang you. And then I went on the broker side, and then I had a great builder that said, hey, I keep firing all these real estate agents, now I want you to go and get your real estate license. And I kicked and screamed all the way to real estate school, and sat there for a month, got my real estate license. But at the same time, I was also going through a devastating divorce. And the only thing I had, and the only thought process I had, and my son had just been diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, who couldn't go to preschool. So I held all this on my platter, and I knew that the only way that I was going to be successful is that I was going to kick some major in real estate. Yeah, Mark said I did swear up here, but those that know me, I can be a little, I was probably a sailor in my past life. Anyway, so it kicks you down, but I knew my why was that I had to keep a roof over my kid's head. There was no way that I hadn't become accustomed to anything. I didn't come from a super rich family or anything like that. I knew that it was up to me. And so every day, I didn't have a coach. I mean, it was like 07, it didn't seem like you had that many people out there saying, hey, let me make you successful. I literally went down every business. I didn't go door knocking, I went to businesses and said, I want your business. And I'm going to keep coming back here until you give me your business. So I did that, I mean, nonstop, and my first year I did pretty well, but I knew that I wasn't gonna go back to, I guess, a real job, although this is a job, a real job that I was working like 70 hours a week, because now I had a son that I also had to take care of that couldn't go to preschool. So, define what your why is, and know that your why, what you start with at the beginning, and what you are in the middle of your transition through being a successful realtor, it's gonna change. Your why changes. My why was to make get a roof over my kid's head, or keep the roof over my kid's head, and make a certain amount of money. And at that time, I think it was like I had to make like $3,000 a month. And your why changes. Now I look at investment properties. We flip properties. We buy properties. I mean, your why is going to change. Now I'm thinking, you know, I'm not all that young anymore now. I want to retire eventually, like in the next 10 years. So those are things that my why has changed. Define your why. Okay, next one. I switched these around. Okay, we're gonna go to networking. My finger's wrong. Networking. All right. Okay, I cannot speak on the men's behalf. I know, however you guys network, it could be, you know, golfing, whatever you guys do. What is it? We as women, I swear, we should be great at networking. Okay, as from a young child, we are in groups of girls. We don't even use the restroom without all of us going to the restroom together. So I'm speaking on behalf of women in this aspect, although men network like any of them, but networking to me is like the main thing of my business. This is the thing that I can say that I do probably pretty good in. Create a networking group. I heard a speaker last time we were here, that they said, you know, your networking group is your lenders, your title, your investment. I have my investment gal here today. That is my networking group. I have my health insurance gal. Every one of those people, create a networking group. They're your best advocates for you. Go out there and sit down and say, hey, let's make a team. Let's share information. Let's meet. Like my team, my networking group, we meet twice a month. And sometimes you really don't need to meet. You don't need to join like a BNI or anything like that. Create your own and meet on a monthly or bi-monthly or even weekly. We met weekly so we could get better knowing each other, but it's a great referral business. If you're, lead generation team, then do it that way. But you've got to network. Networking is out there. Man, I used to, when I was a new agent, I actually would, even at the checkout stand at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure you probably can't do this, so don't do this, but I did. I would take my business cards and I would put them in every magazine that was right there. Even any raunchy ones. I was like, my card is going in every one of them. I was like, well, the worst thing someone can do is like open it up and my card drops out, right? So everywhere is a marketing opportunity. I mean, your sports teams. All of you guys probably have kids that play sports. Dude, I would network the heck out of my sports teams. You network everywhere. Everywhere I say is a networking opportunity. Don't go without that. No one in here should be a starving agent. It's still a really awesome market. Okay. And life-work balance. All right, still trying to figure this part out, but I can give you some insight. So I have this, and I'll show you. I'm going to come up here really quick because I'm supposed to bring it up as a prompt. Okay. It's funny because I have people that tease me about the state planner, that the 80s want it back. My whole team uses state planners. But the reason I say that is have a schedule. The first of the month for your family, write down what your obligations are to your family. Your kids' sports, if they have an assembly, My parents were hardworking. My dad worked, probably, it felt like 20 hours a day. He was gone before I woke up, and he was home by the time I was in bed. And unfortunately, they were not able to come to a lot of my sports games. So when I became a mom, I was like, that is the one thing I'm never going to miss. I'm never going to miss one of my kids' games. And that I've not missed. So put that in. Your family is number one. Put those obligations in there. Then, 2, put a date night in there. okay? Whether it is a Wednesday, our date nights are Wednesdays or Saturdays, but put a date night in there with your spouse, okay? That person deserves your time unconditionally, almost like basically an appointment, but put that in there. And then when you go on your date, 10 minutes of real estate, then end it. Talk about something else. Because I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that we do all the time, Mark and I both being in the industry, is you can talk about real estate nonstop. Do yourself a favor, put it aside, talk about real estate for 10, 15 minutes, and then find something else to talk about. I don't know if you have to create something. Sometimes you just sit there and stare at each other. I don't know what to say. Like, all I've done is work this week. Don't know, but what do we do? What do we talk about? So, but find something else. Go on a fun activity. I mean, Mark and I, when we went with these guys, we went to awards, this is a long time ago. Well, not a long time, maybe 5 years ago. We went to Florida with everybody here to Century 21, big, what is that? 121. Yeah, 121, there we go. What it is. And instead, everybody went to Disney World. And instead of going to Disney World, Mark and I went to the Salvation Army, the DI, and we got, I mean, I had shoes that were like this too big for my feet, my pants were up to here, I had like a shawl, we couldn't find anything, but we decided to go, and I'm sorry, I'm not, if there's PETA in here, we went alligator hunting. We seriously got a guide and went alligator hunting. That was kind of our date night. So, you know, find things that you like to do, a little different. You don't have to go alligator hunting, but it was awesome. And then, is there one more? Gratitude, okay? The more success you, that was, can we block that one out? I knew something was going to be said. I was going to embarrass myself. Not with that word. The more success you find, the better success is. The more success you find in this industry, I really have to concentrate in saying that now. That you need to find a way to give back, okay? And you can do it with Century 21. In Century 21 is fantastic. Or if you find something that's dear to your heart, find that connection. And I will tell you, that is the most rewarding thing you will ever feel, is being able to make someone's life better by whether it is your time or it's money. It is absolutely amazing. We do things with Primary Children's. Safe Harbor is right in Davis County. That is huge. And, you know, clothing, kids. I mean, hell, my kids grow like weeds. I'm constantly decluttering and giving away clothes. I mean, things that are needed at these times, especially right now it's getting cold. Find something that you're passionate about. I don't even care if it's PTA. Not many people would be passionate about PTA, but PTA. You could do PTA president or something, but get involved in your neighborhood, in your networking, and it's twofold. It comes back to you. So I'm not saying using it as a business opportunity, but as you're out there, people know you're in the industry. They're going to come to you. They know that you give back. And there was one that I'm not sure, I must have deleted it, but value. Okay. So value. What value do you guys place on your business and on your personal life? Do you value your time? Do you value your family? Do you place your value on what other people say about you? Do you place your value on all the stuff you see on Facebook? Because I can tell you a big secret about Facebook. Most of the people that are posting on Facebook, you look at the behind the scenes, it's not all that great. I mean, it might be really great, but a lot of times it's a big story. So I'm just saying that create your own story, create your own recipe, and you will find that your value is also there. Your value is the education you get, in real estate, the continuing education, the value that you take pride in the company that you work with. If you go out and you're not taking pride in that, you're not taking pride in yourself, then how can people follow you and take you seriously? So, and then, my speech is pretty quick. So, legacy. Okay. So, oh, my deal. The legacy. Okay. So, you know, I'm lucky enough to have tons of members of my family in the military. So obviously we celebrated that yesterday. But the legacy I'm talking about is the legacy that you want people to think about when you're gone. Are you leaving a legacy of just wealth? Or are you going to leave a legacy based on all the lives that you've been able to change and touch along the way? What are people going to remember you by? I know that, you know, money is super good. I really like money. Okay, I'm not going to lie about it. But I can do a lot more things with having money to do good with it. So that's the legacy I want to live. I want people to think that, hey, you know what? Nikki did change people's lives. Nikki did go out of her way to help somebody. You know, it's kind of, you know, something that everybody needs to think about. Don't make legacy just that dollar amount. Make it something that people take dear to their heart. So that is it, people. If you'd like to buy me and Amy's DVD, we'll be selling those later.
All right, everybody, great to be with you. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Doug. You know, Jeremy sent me a great joke. He goes, you should say that, hey, we want to excuse Doug to leave early to dig his pool. So, just kidding. You're not doing that now, right? All right. Hey, you know, one of the things I just want to mention to you is it's so fun to see the growth and the individuals in this room. And one of the things I have loved watching, this kind of seems a little sick and demented, but I love watching people suffer. And I think it is so cool to watch people suffer through processes, suffer through hikes if we're hiking. I love watching, my favorite joy in life is to watch my children suffer. And watching them battle their life, right? And watching them go through everything. So as we get started today, just again, thank you, Doug, thank you, Nikki, where are you right there? Thank you for your words. And I don't know if you know much about these two, but I've watched these two individuals like take off in their business like nobody's business. Doug, how long have you been with the company?
How long has the Centerville office been open for? 5 years.
So 5 years. Yeah, and it's I mean, fair to say you've doubled your income since you've been here and all the other things you're working on, right? Maybe even tripled, at least doubled? Double? All right, triple sounds better. You're a realtor. Just round up. All right. And I know that you have done, how many times? Have you been here how long now?
You're up at the office of UP and then Centerville for about 6 years.
So 6 years? Okay. So you got that realtor in me. 6, 7 years. We round up. And double, triple? Triple? Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see you guys. Both these guys and their teams and the things that they do are both in the top 10 of the company. So when you start looking at the magnitude of what they're doing within the organization, these are individuals that are, you'll take the 500 plus agents in this company and they're doing some extraordinary things. So fun to see what you're doing. Thank you so much. So today is interesting because there's some of you who will be like, I don't even know what we're talking about initially. You're going to be like, well, wait, what is this little video we're going to show here in a second? And some of you are going to get an answer to all of the noise and all the other things that you may be hearing in the marketplace. But the thing I want to first point out is what this organization is. This organization is ultimately about finding your own summit. And I don't care whether that's in your health, I don't care whether that's in your income, I don't care whether that's in your relationships, your life. No matter what, it's about finding the top. It's about becoming your very, very best. And I've said that for years, that even to my own children, to anyone who's in front of me, I don't necessarily care what you do, but I do care that you become your very best. So one of the processes that each one of us has to go through is that journey of truly striving to become our very best. And you know this, and I've talked about this a lot, and that is, and there's others that talk about it, and that is there's so much noise in the world. There's so much noise from whether it be your closest friends, it could be your spouse, It could be your children. It could be those you respect. It could be those you've been trained by. It could be from anybody. And you sit and you look back and you listen to what they have to say. And what my observation is that most of the people who meet with you, talk to you, visit with you, confide in you, share with you, give their opinion to you, almost all of them have what they believe to be your best interest in mind. But then there's those moments of our lives where we begin to shape them. And some of our lives are shaped in our early youth by being told to do something a certain way. And then we watch oftentimes this great rebellion that comes out within our lives. And you see it in teenagers, you see it later in life, you see people go through crises, and you see them realign their lives in many different ways. Sometimes they do it responsibly, and then we certainly can share and show people who've done it very irresponsibly. But they restructure, they reformulate, they reevaluate everything that's going on and say, okay, wait, what's the direction of your life, and is it going the right direction? And I was to ask you this question, and I would love it if you wrote it down and you'd ask yourself this question for this year. But it would be this simple question: what have I learned